Hi, I'm Ronak Patel, Product Manager for Brother QL Label Printers. In this workshop video series, we will cover how to use Brother SDK for various software platforms.
Chapter 1 serves as an introduction, offering a roadmap for navigating advanced topics and providing additional insights. Chapter 2 delves into the hardware and software requirements needed for development, detailing minimum system requirements, the installation of Xcode, SDK requirements, and the process of adding the SDK and setting up InfoPlist. Chapter 3 and Chapter 4 guide the reader through the SDK download process and the development of an enhanced sample application. Chapter 5 focuses on discovering Bluetooth printers, outlining steps for a quick test, and developing a functional application, complete with complete code examples. Chapter 6 mirrors Chapter 5, but concentrates on discovering Wi-Fi printers. It includes simple discovery code, a short version, a modified version, and comprehensive code examples, along with guidance on InfoPlist setup and error handling. Chapter 7 shifts the focus to supporting P-Touch printers, providing complete code examples and notes for successful implementation. Chapter 8 compares AirPrint with the SDK and instructs on how to support AirPrint in applications. It includes complete code examples and details on necessary permissions, connecting outlets, and refreshing the photo library. Chapter 9 explores barcode and QR code printing, addressing challenges, providing complete code examples, and discussing enhancements. Chapter 10 discusses media-related aspects such as detecting media, identifying label sizes, how to exclude non-QL printers, and setting custom paper along with complete code examples. Appendix A concludes the guide with a focus on refactoring printer setup and parsing parameters. This guide is a thorough resource for developers working on printer-related applications, offering detailed instructions, code examples, and practical tips throughout.
Okay, let's do a live demo. What we want to accomplish in this demo is to analyzing a complete iOS app that utilizes the weather, iOS labeling, and mobile SDK. What we need to do before we begin is make sure you have already successfully completed the Brother Mobile iOS SDK workshop number 1. Okay, if you complete it, let's get started. Let's download the complete app from the Google document folder, which I provide you a link in the description area. Let's go ahead and click that. Okay, then you just simply click a download button here. And you can choose any folder you want to download it. Okay, let's just leave it here in the downloads folder here and save it. We're going to run the app and also show you the logic of main view controller.swift. For example, you can learn how to search for all Brother QL printer on your local network. We also would discover how easy you can control the printer setting, including the orientation, auto cut, halftone, scale mode, and label sizes. And after that, we learn to select an image and print it. So some of the terms you may be unfamiliar with, but it's quite easy if you go into the Google Doc and they will give you an explanation and give you a couple examples of what they are here. All right, let's go ahead and just try to run the app now. Let's pull the download folder here. We're going to unzip the file here. And we're going to run the Xcode project. Double click and trust and open. And let's adjust the screen here so you see the whole picture. Right, we don't need this here, and we can close this, just give you a better idea. Okay, so this is the app here. If you need to make any changes here, such as to change the bundle identifier and change the screen names here. So I have here workshop 1.11, easier to identify. Okay, so the main logic is inside the main view controller Swift here, right? So let's see if we can run that in the iOS simulator. Okay, so let's choose the simulator here. And if you see this error message, you can ignore that because once you run it, it will go away. Okay, so actually go away now. Right, let's run that. Okay, now bring the simulator in. Okay, you see here it's a debug console here, which show 2 printers have been identified, and the 2 printers will be available for you to choose. Okay, and I would explain to you what they are. Okay, so let's go into deeper here. Let's quickly do a live demo of how this app works. Okay, so I have this cameras looking at the QL820 NWB printer. I'm select this. I can also select another printer. I'm gonna select the 820 NWB because it's readily available. I'm gonna choose a portrait mode, auto cut, threshold, fit to paper, and choose the DK2251. That's the one what's installed in there. I'm gonna print the King of Heart. Okay, so I select that and print the image. Okay, that's a lot easier by show you a live demo on that one. So it's a King of Heart here. So what I have here, I choose the King of Heart. I print in the portrait mode here, so which is come out this way here. If it's landscape, it come out this way here. And auto cut meaning that once it's printed, it will cut it. So you don't have to tear off or press the cut button, anything like that. Threshold, dither, and error diffusion are just a different method of halftone. Okay, so threshold is best for image such as line art, like this image here, and error diffusion is suitable for both text and image, and dither is suitable for image. So you can experiment that and get a different result, but in this example, they almost come out identical. Now, whether fit to page or fit to paper also depends on your application. But fit to paper and fit to page, they are actually very close. But if you choose fit to page, almost identical. Let's say you choose fit to page. So what is the difference with that one? Okay. See, that's the beauty of that. You know, you can see that and see, obviously, fit to page, you have more margins on each side. Fit to paper, on the other hand, less margin because it would take advantage of all the spaces available. Okay, so that's what it is. And the DK2251, you know, that may sound unfamiliar to you, but they just make it easier to use the labels, the name of the label. So DK2251 is the label with black and red. So that's the one that comes with the printer, and you can almost open up the printer and test it with this with the ads immediately. Now I have number of image for you to choose, and you just have that select the one. And let's say if I select Queen, okay, and let's say select Queen, I want to print it in landscape mode and no cut. See what happened, okay, and select error diffusion and select fit to page. See what happened now. Okay, you notice that it didn't cut, right? Because I choose no cut. So I have to press the cut button here. And notice that it come out in landscape mode. Okay, so and it is smaller because come out landscape portrait, it will show the whole thing, right? And the error diffusion, it doesn't make that much difference on that one in this regard, and fit to page, so that will everything will be all image will be in there, even though there's some margin on that one. So if you say fit to paper, you may have some cutoff. Let's see what happens. Okay, all right, that's not cut, so we're gonna cut it. Okay, you notice that the slightly cut off area here because of the margin, right? So if you choose fit to page, everything in your image you want to print will be printed. Fit to paper, in some cases, it may have certain area that is not cut off. So it's just a matter of margin on that one. So if you have an image already have enough margin, so this will come out perfectly. All right, so let's go back, change to AutoCAD, okay, and change to portrait, and change to threshold, and print one more and see how that look. Okay, that's gonna change print the back of the image. Okay. All right. So let's give you a quick summary of the this app here. So first of all, the first row here would display up to 4 QL printer that are identified in your network here. In our cases, we have QL820NWB and QL1110NWB being identified and it display here. And the debug console here, which I coded specifically in this app here to show that, so I can, when I'm doing the debugging, I know that they have been found. And and since they are Wi-Fi models and also Bluetooth model, I'm using the Wi-Fi connection, so I will see the IP address of that. So this IP address is 192.168.0.13 for the 820NWB. Okay, and so I can choose a different printer here. And the second row here is just give you a choice of whether you want to print it landscape or portrait mode. And the third choices will be whether you want auto cut or no cut. And then number 4 is whether the type of halftone. And number 5 is the scale mode, whether you want to print into page or paper. And the next row will be the type of label you will be choosing. Okay, so I have many in here, but for different, but you have to install a different label row before you test it here. But this one here, I already have DK2251. And the last one is to choose the image, and you print image, and that's it. Okay, now let's study the logic of this app here. Now we are in MainViewController.Swift. If you are a beginner, you can kind of understand what they are trying to do. If you've done the workshop number 1, you should have completed the majority of the code here. So the only difference in this code versus the one at the end of the workshop number 1 is that it add the code to search for all the QL printer on your network. Okay, so we just go through a little bit more of that particular logic here. Okay, so basically they are the same. You said, let me pull into the actual app here. So you basically want to arrange all the UI segment control. So you have segment control for the QL printer being identified. You also identify you also give the user the choice of selecting a portrait or landscape mode. And these are all the UI segment control here. And the idea to create a UI UX is really not as complicated as you think, especially with the new Chat GPT and Copilot and all the other AI assisted tools you have. You basically just ask ChatGPT, for example, to help me out to create a UI segment control that role number 1 that allow you to choose a printer, role number 2, given an option of landscape or portrait. They will create an entire code for you. You just simply copy and paste it here. Okay, but obviously it takes some practice, and you literally can learn something so quickly that normally would take you months. You can learn that maybe in less than a day. That's for the beginner. For the advanced user, you literally can crank up a complete app in many cases in less than a day. Okay, so the part of the logic here, the design here, UX UI design here, is it godsend, by the way, with the Chat GPT here. With that said here, so let's say what we have here. All right, so you see that we will start search Wi-Fi printer, and I limit to 4. Why I limit to 4 here is because I only want to display 4. In majority of the cases that you only have maybe 1 or 2 printer available for you to print. So, and most, maybe 99% of users just have 1 printer to print, and that's good enough here. But in our case, I just want to demonstrate a more complicated cases where you have up to 4 QL printer available here. All right, so that's what it is. So I search for up to 4 printer, okay, and for then the routine here, I'll be using a star search Wi-Fi printer here, and I will go down to here. You will see star search Wi-Fi printer here. So again, all these entire code here is inside your Google Doc. You simply copy and paste to it. So one more thing I want to remind you here is that with the Brother Mobile SDK, your goal is actually, as a developer, create a setup screen where you have everything available to that. Once you have that in there, you reuse it. You never really have to touch that again. And this entire section of the code here is available, so you just copy and paste it. So if I personally would not know exactly the detail what they are here, other than you would search for the based on the parameter that required. For example, you need to tell the printer the search duration is 5 seconds. You change it to a little bit longer if your network is slower, and the printer list, I will specify I only want all the Brother QL printer. So if you change it to Brother RJ, will all the RJ printer be available? Or you just simply say Brother, and it will search for all Brother printer available there. Okay. So once they identify that on your network here, it will display, say, I tell this specifically in my debug here, I want to print the model name, the IP address. This is where these two are. Okay. So, and I will search for 5 seconds. And most network, I would say 99.99% network, in 5 seconds you will be able to see it. In a slow network, you can change it to 12, 15, or even 20 seconds. So once they finish that routine here, you come back here, and all right, so they will load these into your printer choice. Okay, printer choice. Remember, the printer choice is your first segment control printer choice. So you will load it into. It will start it with 4 blank, then we'll load it into each one of them. Okay, that's how simple it is. And the other segment control, it's already given. So I already have that specified in there. So that will look exactly as you have seen here. Okay, so all right, now we have the segment control setting. Okay, and let's go down there. All right, so it's basically all this code here is just to set up for your display on your app screen here. And now, obviously, the most important part of this app here is for you to print, right? So and these code here allows you to set the communication method here. Okay, and we are using the Wi-Fi communication here. So the Wi-Fi, you would need a IP address, and you also will have the error handling, that just in case they're unable to see the printer, you'll print an error message. Okay, and then you are allowed to show it to the user. User may be able to see what's going on there. But with your error handling here, the error will be minimized. Okay, so here I have the printer, and I have it select the target printer, 820 or QL1110, and if you have more printer that you will expect to find, you can add that here, but simply add more else if. Okay, so that's all it is. Now for the type of the label row here, and since I have 4 different label row here, so I set the label sizes here. Now remember that you can easily add new one by simply type in pure here, and it will show you all the available printer here. Okay, so I'm not going to make any changes here. So Command Z to undo that. Okay, so these are easy for you to do that. And halftone is very easy. In 3 different situations here. Halftone is threshold, pattern dither, and error deficient. These are the printer setting here that you will pass the parameter to your printer before it's printed. Okay, and the standard printer orientation here. So it's just you choose that, whether portrait, landscape, and fit page aspect. If page is for the scale mode, and I also have a number of copies here inside this code here, but not being used here. So obviously you can add another field. Then you can see whether they want to print 3 copy instead of just 1. Okay, those can be added very easily, and again, there are good error handling here where they're doing the print image here. So for example, if they can't find any of this image here, you'll give it an error image not found here. And guess what? It's inside here. So I have all the value of error, okay, from no error, which is 0, to most common one will be like no image now found. Okay, so here is that image now found, and they also have any possible error. It can be identified here. It will help the user to say, okay, your printer. Let's say your printer. If the printer cover is not closed, you forgot to close it. It will tell you forgot to close it. So you close it and it will try it again. It will work. Okay, so that's something with the error handling and more advanced feature here that can help you to minimize the user's error and to assure a successful print. Okay, so after the printer setting is completed, you can send it to the printer, and that's it, and you will be able to print it. Okay, so I have many examples and sample app in the Google Doc of the workshop number 2. Feel free to download just like you did that earlier. Take you 10 seconds to download, take you another 20 seconds to run it. And you study the code here, which I make it very easy, and you will be able to test it. And again, the goal is for the developer to create a setup routine here, so you can simply add it to any of your existing app or any of your future app that require the use of the Brother printer. Then it will be you can literally create an app using your coding experience or using the help with the help of ChatGPT, and add that routine and complete the app in as little as half a day. So that's something we would like to see you do that.